What's minimalism? What's this idea that you keep seeing here and there, but you're not quite sure what it is? I'm Dara. I help people live a more minimalist lifestyle so they can focus on what matters most without getting overwhelmed along the way. If you'd like to live more mindfully, keep tuning in for more videos like this. I'm going to explain to you what minimalism is, and I'm also going to tell you what my definition of minimalism is. Minimalism is a term used in design to describe a very sort of simple aesthetic. You've probably seen it. Everything's very white, clean lines. Yeah, that's great, but that's not what living a minimalist lifestyle is. That's how it might look, or it might not. Minimalism, when it comes to a lifestyle, doesn't have definite definition. Minimalism is basically a catch-all term for living a simpler life with less stuff and with less headaches when it comes down to it. Generally speaking, minimalism is about efficiency. It's doing the most with the least. Minimalism is also about focus. What are the important things that you want to accomplish? What are your priorities? And then really focusing on those things without getting distracted. There are so many distractions in life. These distractions might come in the form of the stuff that we have in our homes. It might come in the form of all the things that are on our calendar. It might even be what we want to accomplish in our lives, our priorities. But we get distracted by having too many of them and not understanding how all of these pieces fit together. Another way of thinking about it is being intentional. So minimalism is basically living a more intentional lifestyle. Everything that you're doing is for a purpose, either because it meets a priority that you have or a need that you have. You're really focusing on being intentional when you do that. So those are the basics of what minimalism is, but I'd like to add my own personal twist to it. I believe that minimalism is actually really about each individual person. It's going to look differently for everybody because it is about you specifically. You don't have to be a super organized person. You don't have to be somebody who likes white walls and completely clear countertops. But yes, when you're a minimalist, organization is important. But it's important for a couple of reasons. One, when you have less stuff, you will automatically be more organized than when you had more stuff. It's a great way if you find organization to be difficult. If you really minimize what you have, you're already ahead of the game. The other piece that relates to organization is that minimalism, and the way I see it, is about keeping life simple. We don't want things to be complicated. We don't want to waste our time. So if you organize the few things that you do have in whatever way works best for your personality and the way that you like to live your life, then you are going to have a simpler life, and really it's going to be more efficient, which we talked about earlier. When it comes down to it, minimalism is great if you feel lazy a lot of the time. Minimalism means that you're not spending time on things that don't matter to you. If you've ever spent time paying bills and figuring out complicated financial systems, you're spending a lot of time on something that's no fun. I'm lazy, I don't want to do that. So minimalism helps me create a system that's super simple, super focused, super efficient, so that I can be lazy and do what I really want to do. Speaking of which, minimalism, from my standpoint, is all about fun and creativity. When we have too much stuff and we have the perfect item for just the right thing, we're kind of losing our creativity. When you have a simpler lifestyle, you can kind of look around your home and say, okay, what do I want to do? I have room now to be creative, both in terms of space, lack of distraction, and I also don't have so many objects and technologies that I'm not tapping into my own personal creativity. And this is fun when you're not picking up things and putting things away and getting frustrated and overwhelmed by your space. Guess what? You can have more fun. You'll have more time to have fun, and you'll have an environment that promotes more fun. Minimalism and mindfulness go hand in hand. Mindfulness is just being present in the moment. It's about awareness. And so often with these distractions in our lives, we're just not aware of what's really happening. So if you sit mindfully, you'll be able to come up with what your minimalist lifestyle looks like. It will be more obvious to you what you want to focus on and what you want to do. What matters most to us is so often lost. If we really want to live a meaningful life, we have to focus on what that meaning is. And minimalism, through its way of making things more simple, more focused, more efficient, more intentional, and more mindful, we can actually focus on what is most meaningful. But the most important thing to remember about minimalism is that it's about you and what matters most to you. Not what you think minimalism should be, not even what I say minimalism should be, but making it personal to what matters most to you. You can do that with less stress, less overwhelm, because you won't have the sorts of distractions that you typically have in your life that cause that stress and cause that burden of feeling like you have to do and be and have so much. You don't. I'm telling you now, I promise, you do not. Everyone I work with starts to feel lighter. They feel less stressed. They feel relieved. They feel more at peace. Those are the sorts of things that you get to experience when you live a more minimalist lifestyle. To access more free resources and learn about my services, be sure to check out my website, whylessequalsmore.com. That's where I can help tailor your minimalist lifestyle to your wants and needs and to what matters most to you.